Welcome back everyone. In this lesson we will deal with infinite background. So this is how we will do it. When Dino reaches one background, the next one will be spawned and it will be clone of the first one. So how do we know when our Dino reached the first one? We will use our camera. So everything that we do, our camera will follow, and that's how we will spawn the rest of our backgrounds. Also, this will be done with instantiate. As you remember, we used instantiate with our Flappy Bird and we needed prefabs. And we will now do the prefab of our background. So click on background. Let's add this box collider 2D. Let's edit it and let's place it in the left upper corner. So our camera will scroll, then reach this collider, and then spawn another one in front of this current background. And then camera again will scroll through this background, then reach this second collider, which will be here, and spawn another column, which will be somewhere like right here. Also, to control our background from the script, we need to add rigid body. So physics 2D and rigid body 2D, it will be kinematic. Now let's make a prefabs folder. Go to project, right click, create folder, prefabs. Let's drag our background there, but let's not delete the current one because our Dino is located on it and we do not need to delete it. Now, as I already said, we will use our main camera, so click on main camera, add collider 2D, and let's place it the same position as we did with our background. So click on edit collider and move it in the upper left corner. Also check that it's triggered. Okay, great. The next thing we will do is make a script and attach it to our main camera. So go to main camera, add component. Let's call the script spawn background. Let's add it to our scripts folder and double click to open it. Okay, so how should we do this? I think the easiest way is to see where we want our desired background to be. So maybe we should go to Unity and duplicate our background. So right click duplicate. Let's place it on the wanted position. Think right here. And let's see the X of this new background. So X is 16. Let's round it to 16. I think it looks okay. So this value will be added to the current position, and that's how we will place it on the wanted position. Let me type that out. I think it will be clear. So delete the second background. Go back to spawn background script. We can delete the start and update method, and let's type private void on trigger enter 2D. For this, we need to have two variables, two float variables. First one will be X position, the current X position, and the second one will be current Y position. Private float X position, which will be initialized to 0, let's say, and private Y position, which will also be 0. The next variable we will need is our prefab, so type public game object prefab. So we need this game object for our instantiate method. Now let's go to our onTrigger enter 2D. Let's state what our X position and Y position is. So our X position is current X position, which is actually transform.position.x. And our Y position is current Y position. Okay, so now we use our instantiate. As you remember, we typed instantiate. We open the parentheses. Now we specify which prefab we want to clone. In this case, it's named prefab. Now where? So we'll create a new vector 2. Its X value will be X position plus 16, because we have determined that that is the right position for our next background to be spawned, and Y position is the same as the current one. So Y position. Now we need to type the rotation, so quaternion.identity. Okay, great. Let's save this. Let's go back to Unity, click on main camera because we have to add our prefab right here. So click on background from prefabs and drag it to our spawn background. Now let's run it. First background. Okay, as you saw, we have created the first background. And you are probably wondering, why don't we have more background? Because Arduino is running and we do not have our third background. Well, that is because our camera is still not moving, so it enters just one collision and there is no second collision. So we need to make our camera moving as Arduino is moving. We will do that in our next lesson, so see you there.